and salutations, comic book conversationalists. This is Comic Book Hangover with the catch-up video. All the books that I picked up the month of March up to this point. So now I did separate them and to kind of put them in a little bit of a order. So we're going to have the non-reprint books followed by the reprint books. Let me tell you, looking at my little stack, I got a lot of reprints. Facsimile editions are basically all I'm getting these days, with the exception of pretty much the Energon universe and Godzilla comic books. And actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, those are the main books that I'm getting anymore, which is kind of crazy. So let's just jump into it. From the Energon universe, in no particular order, because I got all kinds of them here, I've got G.I. Joe number 5, which with this one I'm kind of noticing that when I do my pre-orders, because I always like to do my pre-orders before final order cutoff to make sure that my LCS knows what covers I'm interested in. That helps them to decide how many of what issue, how many of what cover to order. If more of us do that for our LCSs, it really helps them streamline their ordering process, especially with all the chaos that's going on now with Diamond. So, but I've noticed that when I pre-order my G.I. Joe books and I'm looking at them, I'm getting the Cobra covers. I don't think I've gotten a Joe cover since the first issue, which is kind of crazy. Speaking of Cobra, Void Rivals number 17 with the Cobra Law cover. Pythona, amazing cover. And I think, honestly, the only way that this cover could be any cooler is if it was glow-in-the-dark. This is an amazing cover. And the reason why I'm into the Energon universe, Transformers. So I got 3 Transformers books to share. This is the third printing of Transformers number 13. Normally I don't get third printings, but normally I don't have Megatron and Starscream on a cover. So I had to pick this one up because it's got 2 of my favorite Decepticons. Actually, my all-time favorite Transformer, Starscream, and then one of my all-time favorite Decepticons, Megatron, on that cover. That's a beautiful, beautiful cover. Then I picked up the second printing of Transformers 14, which has the Starscream Hiss Tank amalgamation. Now, I used to get these second printings all the time, but then they started doing Transformers characters that I didn't really care about, really didn't know, so I stopped buying them, which was great because it started getting very expensive, especially when they did that Quintesson cover. They had like 5 covers for one character because they had to do a cover for every face. So cut back on these, so I'm only getting the covers of the characters that I really, really like. So there you go. And catching up to Transformers number 18. I don't think I've read this one yet, so that's still on the list of books to read. Actually, I just realized that a couple of days ago I realized I was like 4 issues behind on Void Rivals, so I've been reading through that, getting caught up. So I got to read this one as well. I'm getting caught up on all my books. We're on spring break right now. I'm getting surgery on my knee on Tuesday, so I will have plenty of time, hopefully, to catch up on my reading. Now getting into, wait a minute, I got one more non-reprint book. This is Mothra, King of the Monsters number 1, new 5-issue miniseries focusing on Mothra, who in the Legendary universe is the Queen of the Monsters. In the Toho universe, the original universe, she's not. She's a goddess. She's treated as a goddess, but she's not queen. She's not on par with Godzilla. So that's just a Legendary universe thing, which I'm okay with. I can accept that. But I'm really curious to see how she's treated in that miniseries there. Now going on to reprints, Marvel must-haves from March of 2025. This is reprinting the first issues of Captain America Winter Soldier, Phoenix, and Spider-Man Reign 2. They do these as a freebie every month as a chance for you to kind of check out something more recent. I try reading them. I always have a hard time reading them, but they're free, so, why not? But going on and checking out some regular facsimile books, let me dig out the Marvels first. We have Fantastic Four number 3, and I haven't done this in a while. The way that you can tell the difference between a Marvel facsimile and an original. So if you see something like this online, and it seems to be like it's in great condition, it's got a great price on it, it's almost too good to be true. If you're looking at the cover and if they're showing a stock cover on their eBay listing, ask for a cover of the actual comic book. There's 3 things that you will notice if it's that you want to look at to see if it's a facsimile or an original. First off is the cover price. There is no way in hell this book was $4.99 when it originally came out. Books back then were like 12 cents, something like that. Number 2 is the modern era Marvel logo. This guy right here is going to be right there somewhere on the cover, not up here. It's always going to be floating somewhere. And the UPC box. A lot of these older books didn't even have a UPC code on there. They didn't do that. They weren't returnable or anything like that. Excuse me. When they did have a UPC box, it was fat. It was like a more of a thicker rectangle, and it would float in the corner. You can see the edges of the books. These facsimile ones have the slimmer one, the slimmer UPC code, and it hugs the edge of the book. So if it's over here, it's going to hug the spine, and the bottom of it, it's over on this side, it's going to hug the edge of the book, and then the bottom of it as well. So those are the 3 things on a Marvel facsimile that you're going to want to look at to see. But I grabbed that one. I also got the continuation of the Dark Phoenix saga, Uncanny X-Men number 133. And again, cover price. There is that modern era Marvel logo, and there is that barcode hugging the edge there. So keep an eye on that. Now the rest of these facsimiles are DC. We've got Swamp Thing number 37. I think this was actually originally a saga of the Swamp Thing. First appearance of John Constantine. Great cover. Love it. I have the final issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths. A couple of issues behind on this one, so I got to read it, get caught up, find out what's going on. I mean, read it for the first time. This is one of those books I've never read all the way through. So we have Brave and the Bold presents the Justice League of America. This is issue 30 in the Brave and the Bold series. This is the first appearance of somebody, but I've completely lost it, as I've completely forgotten who it was. But there is that one. We have Detective Comics number 31, which is an amazing cover. That's actually the main reason I picked this up. But also, I mean, it's a $6.99 book, but look how thick that is. That is a thick comic book. That is super, super thick. But there's no way you'd be able to get this book, an original, for anywhere near $6.99. But that is an amazing cover. I may actually check this one out. And then the rest, got more Batman stuff. So we have Batman Adventures number 12. This was the first comic book appearance of Harley Quinn, who, of course, as everybody knows, made her grand debut in the Batman the Animated Series. She was created specifically for that show. They put her in this one, which is the sort of adaptation, continuation of the animated series, and then she sort of segued and came into the mainline DC universe. But I did have the original for this. Got it graded. It came in like a 6.96, something like that. Sold off a couple $100. Kind of regret it, but as long as I have this, the facsimile edition reprints are the same thing. Just a reprint, different cover price, but everything inside of it is the same. So I'm happy with having this until I can get my hands on another original Batman Batman Adventures number 12. And finally, wrapping up the facsimiles, we've got Batman number 612. This is continuing the Hush storyline. Another one of those storylines I never read. I'm not a DC reader, so I didn't check it out at all. But now that I have these facsimile edition reprints, I am going to be checking this out. I just got to get around to getting caught up on it. And they're pumping these Batman Hush ones out, because here is issue 613, another great cover. I remember when this one came out, there's a lot to do, a lot of hoopla about this cover, but there is that one. I love that. And then the last one I picked up so far in this month of March is the 5th and final volume of EC Archives, The Haunt of Fear. This wraps up this series with issues 25 through 28 of The Haunt of Fear. Great EC stuff. I love this. I think we've got, just Crime Suspense Stories is left. I think there's a 4th or 5th volume for that coming out. Actually, let me see here. Got all my Crime Suspense Stories over there. It'll be volume 4. So I'm going to wrap up the Crime Suspense Stories. And I believe with that, the EC Archives line is done. They're all out. And all I need to do then is get into my storage unit, somehow get all the way to the back where I put my books and my trades, dig out the EC Archives that I have in storage so I can figure out which ones I missed. I think I might have missed. I thought I was missing A Vault of Horror and Tales from a Crypt, but doing some quick research on that, I figured out that I actually have not missed any of those. So I think it might be a weird science or a weird fantasy that I'm missing. Maybe shock suspense stories. I'm not sure. But once I get them all, I do want to start reading them, all the way through. and maybe just do a little thing as I read a volume, just talk about it a little bit. I don't know. I'm figure something out because I'm still trying to get more content on here. But that said, thanks everybody for checking this video out. Thank you for your comments, subscribing, liking, sharing, all that fun stuff. Sorry I'm not doing these videos as often as I used to. I'm trying to get back on a weekly basis. It's just sometimes I'm only getting like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 books. I had 1 week recently, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where I actually came home with a stack of books. It was great, unusual, but great. But one thing is I don't really get a lot of books anymore. There's also a lot of stuff going on, with work, with school, with the house. Probate still a big mess. Now I'm getting surgery. I'm getting other stuff done as well. I'm gonna have surgery on both my knees and another procedure coming up as well, which might make it so I'm not gonna be able to do a video for a week when I had that procedure done. I don't know. We're basically getting my body repaired as much as I can before it is too old to fully recover from everything. So that said, between here and TikTok, there's gonna be a lot of content. I'm behind on everything, so there is going to be a big content dump. As I'm sure you've noticed, 2 videos posting back to back here. You go over on TikTok, you're going to see some movie stuff. I'm doing this thing now where with the movies that we don't have in storage, I'm trying to watch. Actually, I'm not trying. I'm doing it. So far, I'm doing it. We're on like day 80 something. I'm watching 1 movie in our collection every day, and trying to stay away from movies that I watch often. Although stuff like A Nightmare on Elm Street has popped in there, and a few other movies, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. But I'm trying to watch movies that I don't really watch that often, like Soul Man and The Wiz, Stakeout, stuff like that. But I'm going to be doing the same thing I do with my comic books, where once I finish the month, I'm going to do a quick video of all the movies that I watched, post it on TikTok, share it here on YouTube. I'm going to be I've got the movie ones done. I'm going to be doing the comic book videos next. So everything will be there. This big content dump. So there's going to be a lot of videos to check out, at least like 6 of them. But that said, I want to wrap this one up so I can move on. See everybody hopefully at the end of this week with another weekly haul. Actually, a weekly haul, weekly review video. And hopefully I'll be able to get caught up on my books soon so I can actually start doing those reviews again. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Hope everybody's having a great week. Enjoying this on again, off again great weather that we're having here in Michigan. We had 70-degree weather. It was great. It was sunny. It was 70. We were outside. It was brilliant. The kids and my class, we were able to go outside for recess without coats on. It was great. The next day we got snow. So that's how it goes here in Michigan. So we're kind of used to it. It's annoying, but we're used to it. But anyway, see everybody next time.